Fiona Lobo. Here we are in Shaktinagar, and with me is Durgesh sir, who has 20 years of teaching experience. Let's ask him how students can cope with examination stress.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for that introduction. And the examination stress has become a very important and critical matter in minds of both parents and students, because ultimately the examination stress uh, affects directly the performance of these students. And many of the good students tend to perform very badly since they cannot recollect what they have read due to this examination stress.
Sir, can you tell us how serious is this problem?
Yes, Fiona. This problem is indeed a very serious one, and it has been often observed that many parents put a lot of pressure on even their good students, and they insist that these students must come first and not only get good marks. So, what happens ultimately is that these good students end up having a lot of anxiety issues during the exam, and they cannot recollect things that they have read, and ultimately they do very poorly in the exam, whereby their stress increases further, unfortunately.
So, Durgesh sir, how will we come to know that how a student is in stress? Or are there any specific signs that a student is in stress? How can we make out?
Yes, Fiona, that's a very good question, because there are specific signs and symptoms for students. Like, most of the people, they do nail biting like this. When they are nervous, no, they'll do nail biting. Then our teeth are there, no, they will grind the teeth, like they'll do like this. And people, and more especially when they're asleep. Then there are other symptoms like you get some gaseous feeling in the stomach. You get burning sensation in stomach. Then in the oral cavity in the mouth, you get ulcers, small ulcers. Actually, here in South Canada and all, we say that they are heat ulcers. So these heat ulcers come, but they come only when more during the exam. And others is that it will affect our sleep to a great extent. Sleep in the sense, some people, they don't fall asleep, they develop insomnia, it's called lack of sleep. And other people, when they sleep, then they can't get up in the morning, so the next day's studies will get affected. So this stress causes this problem of cyclical thing, insomnia with then extra sleep in the morning.
Would you like to tell us more about the 7 steps that you mentioned earlier, Durgesh sir?
Yes, Fiona. The 7 steps I will outline first, then we will discuss each of these 7 steps in detail. The first step, obviously, is to prepare a good study plan. Second step is to exercise regularly and go out in the sun. Third step is your eating should be balanced. Don't eat very heavy meals and do not starve yourself. Fourth is do yoga and pranayama, because yoga and pranayama are known to calm your mind. Next step, that is number 5, is take help from friends and peers, your classmates, or form a study group. Number 6 is use music. Music is a wonderful tool to calm yourself and relax yourself. You can even use combination of music with meditation. And lastly, the seventh step, the most important, is believe in yourself and believe in the Lord, because God will always help you and your prayer will give you a lot of spiritual strength.
Would you like to tell us more about the study plan? When I was a student, we used to plan accordingly, according to the time as well as the subjects. For example, 3 months, 6 months for 3 subjects. For like, we would take 2 months for each subject. Would that work, Durgesh sir?
Yes, of course, it would work. But please remember, Fiona, we are forgetting a very important point, and that is you need some time at end of the session to revise just before the exams. So what I would suggest is if you had like 3 subjects and 6 months, then it would be a good idea to assign 1.5 months and then keep some extra time for revision. And that revision would make a lot of difference. Always remember, you must take regular breaks and take coffee, tea, or just walk around the block and come back, take some fresh air. And then this taking rest in between will improve the quality of your study, and you will definitely have better memorization of the facts.
So, what about exercise? Some students during their exams they only study and study. They don't follow the exercise. Is that good, Durgesh sir?
No, I think that's not a very good thing to do, because a small level of exercise is really necessary. And I would, in fact, combine exercise with regular exposure to sun. For example, even if you can take a book and sit in the sun and read for some time, you will get reading and sun together, like early morning, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, or evening, 4 o'clock to 5:30. That sun is very good for your getting your regular vitamin D. And another thing is exercise will make you into good focus for study.
Some students appear to fast during their exams. According to them, if they eat, they may feel sleepy. So, what is your opinion about food, Durgesh sir?
Fiona, basically remember one thing: you should neither starve nor overeat. So both are bad. So you must have a balanced way of having small snacks at regular intervals. This usually helps all the students. And try to take vitamin supplements if you feel that you are not getting enough vitamins. And take a lot of curds. Curds helps to stabilize the stomach. And generally, it's always good that uh, as you have come towards the night, you should take strong coffee or strong tea, so that that will give you extra 2 hours of study, because tea and coffee always help. So food, cardinally small portions, regular food, and then take tea or coffee as you are habituated. Take slightly more and make the tea or coffee little strong during the examination. All right.
I'm confused, Durgesh sir. Yoga, pranayama, and exercise, are these different from each other? Or how students can manage all these together in a day?
Yes, Fiona, I know what you mean. In fact, many students do ask me that if I do exercise, then no need to do yoga, correct? Or if I do pranayama, no need to do jogging, correct? No, it's not correct. What we must do is all three have got a separate place in the day. Let me start with a typical day of a student. Early morning, he must do yoga and he must do pranayama. Once he does yoga and pranayama, then that is done for the morning session. In the evening session, he must plan for some exercises like, cycling, walking, jogging. That would be for 20 minutes, and pranayama again for 10 minutes. So, what I'm trying to tell in very clear words is yoga and pranayama in the morning and exercise and pranayama in the evening would.
Different students have different style of studying. While studying in a group, each student has their own capability. So while studying in a group, will they get help or will they hinder
Each other.
each
You
other?
mean each other, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Fiona, that's a very good question, because we have found that many times if students have different levels of understanding, then sometimes some students do very well and others get left behind. But my basic suggestion is, if there is too much variation in the style of studying, then what students must do is they must do individual study and group revision when they come together. And during revision, the more strong students can help the weaker students. So that way, everyone sort of, helps each other, and it's a win-win situation.
When I was a student, I used to listen to a soothing music to calm myself and to relax. Would you recommend this, Durgesh sir?
Yes, Fiona. I think what you were doing was a right thing. Absolutely. It works for many students. And music has been recommended across the board in different cultures to relax a person. And in fact, I know students who continuously put music in the background and study. So it helps them to focus on their study. So you use whichever style works for you. Some people like to use rock music and jang jang music to relax. Others use soothing music like sitar or guitar and calm themselves. Music definitely works.
Many of the students get stressed due to lack of confidence. At this juncture, what will you recommend to the students, Durgesh sir?
Yes, Fiona, this lack of confidence and feeling very down when this overstudying and things are not going your way is very common just before the exam. Now, not only before the exam, but generally, I always say that you have to use two things which actually are for general for life. One is that you must learn to pray regularly. Don't pray only when exams come. I mean, don't say, "Oh God, exam has come. No, please help me." And after the exam again, you don't pray for months together. Don't do that. Make prayer a part of your daily life and use affirmations. Affirmations means you just talk with God yourself. You say that God give me confidence, God give me strength, God give me the uh, focus to see that my mind doesn't waver or my mind doesn't go here and there. And these affirmations, if you do every day and if you pray properly, it will be one of the greatest strengths. So I always suggest to all the students of any faith, any belief, that pray as per your belief and be strong in your heart, and you will really do well in exams. This is my promise. Okay?